Hello, all you lovely people. I want to share something that happened yesterday. I went to a library for an event that's called Human Books. So basically, there were 12 people from all different walks of life, and they shared their story in a 10-minute slot. So everybody had their own separate booth, and there were couches so you could sit and listen to their life story summarized in 10 minutes. Obviously, it's just a glimpse of what they've been through. And what fascinated me really a lot is not just the courage and the challenges that someone can go through and you can never even dream when you just meet them in the street. But another thing that is really very challenging in this world is when you are not familiar with other people's challenges. What happens is you kind of think that everybody is like you. So I'm going to give you an example. I met somebody there who shared their story of depression and autism, and she said she really had a privileged life, so to speak, because she passed as neurotypical. And growing up, she wasn't labeled as autistic, and she could fit in more easily because she knew how to mask. But the price for that is the depression, because when you can't be your full self and you have to constantly adjust to other people's expectations and you have to please everybody, that is a very constricted way of living, and that's what can cause severe depression when you have to compress all your feelings and just fit a mold, like twist yourself into a pretzel, right? And I have a family member who has autism, and it's so much easier to understand the people close to you when you see something objectively, when you're not inside a situation and you can hear from an outsider a story that they went through. Because I noticed, like, in my everyday life, it's so much easier for me to think they should adjust to my world instead of I should adjust to their world. In other words, this society we live in is very ableist. It's very much compensating for people who are able-bodied, who are the norm, so to speak, because they walk on 2 feet. They're not in a wheelchair. They're not intellectually differently wired, and the downside of that is we lose so much of the beauty and the brilliance of those people who we never have a chance to really explore and to really learn from them, because society trained us to just ignore a big chunk of society, just the people who pass, who, like, the capitalist culture is just like, if you have something to contribute in the dollar and cents, then you have some value. If you can't do that, then supposedly you have no value. And that is a very crippled and toxic way of living, right? But for me, what really helped was like to take a step back and see the family member that has a different way of thinking as not just the brilliance that I usually appreciate, but really to understand how much I fall into this trap of expecting them to live up to my norm instead of me really adjusting to their world, like adjusting not just my expectations, but also be compassionate that the world is not equally serving me like they're serving them, because they really are suffering from a world that is not here to help them, that is not here. Like, obviously, there are services and there's a lot of talk about diversity, but there's still so much that able bodied people have that we kind of get away with the privilege that we benefit from because we're not even aware how much effort and energy and blood, sweat, and tears a person who the doesn't fall into the category of normal, so to speak. Like, this is a crazy way to frame it, but like, this is what society has taught us to think of it like, and it's such a hard life. It's really, really, really tough. Like, she explained every step of the way growing up as a kid, how much it was hard to just sit and learn, because if your brain is wired differently and the classroom is completely not adjusting to your learning style and completely ignoring the way you learn and flourish, it has a very detrimental effect, right? And it's incredible how sometimes you have one person in the courtyard in the school who notices, who understands, who appreciates the value of every child and can make a difference for a lifetime, when they are not in that, trapped in that bubble of ableism, of thinking that everybody has to fit the mold, so to speak, and otherwise they don't deserve basic human dignity and respect and love and belonging. So I hope this helps. I'm not sure how clearly I came through, but I just wanted to share this sentiment that really helped me yesterday. Have a wonderful day.